One of the beautiful things about davening here at the Koisel is you meet people from all over the world, special, special people, and all of them are coming together to daven and to be Mekabel Pnei the Shechina, to accept the Shechina. I met a friend of mine yesterday, Alicia, and he told me the following very, very powerful concepts, which I want to share with you today, and perhaps shed even a little bit of light on what he said. Alicia told me that he knows of a woman who is having numerous miscarriages. Numerous. I'm talking about 13 miscarriages. And so this a certain Rav a certain tzaddik was consulted, and the tzaddik told them the following very fascinating eitzah. They should take the gartel of a Sefer Torah, and the woman should wear it. Right? And this particular tzaddik was able to procure the gartel of a Sefer Torah from Berditchev, right? From the famous hometown of Levi Berditchev. And this woman wore this gartel, and she had a successful birth afterwards, after 13 miscarriages. And we can only wonder what's going on here. How can wearing the gartel of Sefer Torah prevent miscarriages? I'm sure that if you speak to a doctor, they'll tell you it's absolutely ridiculous. Wearing the gartel of a Sefer Torah has no effect at all medically on a pregnancy. So how can we understand what's going on here? So I'd like to tell you on two levels what I believe. Number one is, as we've said many times, tzaddik goizer v'Hashem mekayim. If a tzaddik says something in Shemayim that has tremendous weight, Shemayim that becomes the mitzias, that becomes the reality, and therefore when you do it, there's a much better chance of it happening because the tzaddik was goes. And now, again, it depends who the tzaddik was and what the gzera was, and then who is the recipient of the gzera. These are all critical factors. If you yourself are a tzaddik, and you go to a very big tzaddik, especially if he's a posek, especially if he's a posek ador, like with Moshe Sternbach, and the tzaddik makes such a statement, and you are worthy of that, yeah. So there's a very good chance that this will come to fruition, right? And that's one level. And in fact, my friend, Dr. Joel Leibowitz, the doctor who was an excellent doctor in Yaakov, told me once that Stipler would often send people to a certain pharmacy, certain cures, which made absolutely no sense medically, but they always worked. And when the Stipler died, so they wouldn't work anymore. And Dr. Leibowitz explained that because the tzaddik goes Hashem Kayim. When the Stipler said to do it, in Shemayim they said, well, baking soda obviously helps meningitis. So it worked because the Stipler was gozer. When the Stipler died, then it stopped to work. Okay, that's one level. But I want to tell you, even on a deeper level, right? How can the gartel of a Sefer Torah help a woman to stop having miscarriages? I'd like to suggest as follows. The gartel of a Sefer Torah, a Sefer Torah, if you roll it up, so it's in a bit of a flimsy position. Right? If you wouldn't have a gartel, it could shift right and left and chas v'shalom to rip. What the gartel does is it binds the Sefer Torah and makes it one. It binds it together so there shouldn't be movement if it was chas v'shalom the Sefer Torah to rip. During a pregnancy, it's a very, very deep thing going on. Is that there's binding of the neshama of the neshama in the body of the Vlad with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? And the mother as well, being the intermediary between this. In the rechem, in the uterus of a woman during pregnancy, right, there's a deep process taking place. The neshama of the embryo being bound to the Bari Olam, right? And just like the garter of a Sefer Torah binds the Sefer Torah together, so too the a woman will put on a gartel during pregnancy, gartel will say Matera, then this is going to perhaps, I can suggest, help bind the shama of the uterus of the embryo, Takadosh Baruch Hu, number one, and bind the neshama through the mother, right, together with the Bari Elam, and this will give life to the blood. My Rebbe for 18 years, Hagoyin Hatzadik, Moreno Rabbeinu Maran, Rav Shlomo Leib Brevda Zatzal, once told me when my wife was expecting, right? She told me when they take out the Sefer Torah, say Atem Adveikim B'Hashem Elokeichem Kulchem Achem. That's the halacha, right? But say it with kavana to be mistabik, that the neshama of the blood should be mistabik to the Borei Olam. The more that the blood's neshama, the more that his essence is connected to the Borei Olam, the more life he has. When connect to Hashem, that's life. And the Maharal says that's why it's called Shmon Esrei, right? Even though there's 19 brachas, it's still called Shmon Esrei because Chai. Says the Maharal, when you're davening and you're davening to Hashem, we know that during Shmon Esrei we're not Tzilas, the highest level we can reach and closest to Hashem, perhaps in this world. Maybe a nevuah is more, but that's when we're really alive. When we're bound to our Kadosh Baruch Hu, then we're alive. If you want to give life to a baby and an embryo, and make sure that it doesn't, that there's not a miscarriage, the way to do it is by saying that pasuk. That's what Rev told me. Tremendous kavanah, and he said this in the name of the Leshem, who said it in the name of the Leshem. The Leshen, which was Rav Elyashiv's grandfather, who wrote some of the very, very deepest svarim of Kabbalah. My neighbor, who's a hidden Mekubal, one of the great Mekubalim of Yerushalayim, not allowed to say who he is because he's a Sadiq mister, but I was zochet to learn with him some of the svarim of the Leshen, and he told me the Leshen is the Rebbe Kiva Eger of Kabbalah, just like Rebbe Kiva Eger was one of the great Lamdanim of Mikla, right? The Leshem is like the Rebbe Kiva Eger of Mister, and he said that advice, right? When the Sefer Torah is taken out, and you say the pasuk Atem Adveikim B'Hashem Elokeichem Kulchem Hayam, have kavanah, tremendous kavanah in that, and by doing that, you're being mistabik the neshama of the vlad together with the Borei Olam, and this is what gives life. This will give life to the embryo. We should keep that in mind. These two things, three things actually. Number one, the tzaddik goes to Hashem Mekayim. If you go to a tzaddik and he gives you an eitzah, listen to it very, very carefully, right? And try, when you go to the tzaddik, try to get him, I mean, not to get chas v'shalom, not to, but try and ask him to make it geseh. He doesn't have to say, and he goes it, but try to get him to say, if we're gartel, the pregnancy, B'ezras Hashem, will be helped, right? In doing so, he's making a gzera of sorts. Tzaddik goes to Hashem time, and Hashem listens to these things very, very, very carefully. Again, you have to do tshuva also. You have to be worthy of this. And, right, so if you found that tzaddik was really a tzaddik, and especially a postik, you said, like Mishpernbach, and you've done tshuva and you're worthy of it, right? And you go to the tzaddik, and the tzaddik says, put on a gartel during the pregnancy, and that will help. Again, I don't think you should do this just by yourself. Speak to a tzaddik first and ask him if it's the right thing to do. And then that's one idea. The second idea, right? Second idea we said was from Rev Zatzal about Atem Atavekim. That by saying Atem Atavekim Ashalokim Miyam with Kavana, tremendous intention, you're in essence connecting the neshama of the vlad, of the embryo, to the Borei Olam, and you're giving it life. And giving the vlad life, this is what stops a miscarriage, chas v'shalom. The more that you connect the neshama of the vlad with the Borei Olam, the more life it has, and the more chances you have of having a successful pregnancy. Right? There's two ways we do that. Sefer Torah, just like the gartel, just like it connects the Sefer Torah together, it connects the vlad to the Borei Olam. Number two, by saying Atem Devakim, you're also connecting the neshama of the vlad to Hashem, Hashem should give a bracha to all expecting mothers, and healthy, happy pregnancies and birth. Amen.